Assalamu alaikum. I'm Professor Dr. Luis Maria Palma, President of the International Association for Court Administration and trainer for over 26 years of my life. I'm going to share with you some thoughts and comments regarding this topic of the judicial training and its new paths, for which I've prepared a presentation that I'm going to use. Thinking mainly about the fundamentals and importance of judicial training, also about the pandemic as a way to boost, as it was stressed this morning, judicial modernization and particularly judicial training with the use of technology, IT-based new paths considering its benefits, challenges and opportunities, as well as development and outcomes that has to do with personal experiences that I shared previously with more detail, of course, during a workshop that I conducted, and finally the perspectives. In order to begin with this, why is this important to think about judicial training? On one hand, if we think about the judiciary as I do, as a system, considering different parts of components of it, to me the most important one relates to the people. And no matter if you're talking about law, if you're talking about infrastructure or technology, you need to be prepared to use what you have. And that's why, in order to improve the integral functioning of the judiciary, it's that important to have properly organized and developed judicial training. Also, it can generate changes perceptible in the short and medium term, but it also needs to be developed at a wider scale, considering the judicial government, because the scarcity of resources is something very common all over the world, as well as in the judicial units, courts and offices at the micro level too. So, as for the fundamentals, I think it's important to consider the problem-solving oriented approach. We are not going to train people about abstractions. We need to put our hands on the problems in order to sort them out, as well as the immediate implementation of acquired skills. In other words, we are not going to train people to do something in 2 months from now. It needs to be practically oriented to solve things from now on and to learn from that as an experience to be shared with other people. Also, the communication, dialogue and skills. I've been teaching soft skills for a very long time, and that's something very useful in terms of promoting solidarity and participation of the staff, as well as the impact on trainees' performance, something I'm going to address with more detail tomorrow during the 7th session. As for the pandemic and a judicial training innovation boost, I think it's important to keep in mind when we evoke through those images the restrictions that we had to face, the massive small business bankruptcy that was so common during those days, and the abuse with the use of technology by governments with cyber patrolling and censorship, that at the same time there were very important developments in terms of the change of the judicial working methods. In the context of restrictive measures and the suspension and postponement of judicial deadlines, there was a generalized use of telecommuting. It was possible since then to learn informally and learning by doing, using our apps, our telephone, our tablet, our personal computer to do things and to promote awareness raising using YouTube and other social media channels in order to show how judicial systems and judicial training centers were doing in order to keep on providing services despite of the terrible crisis that derived from the pandemic. Then, the intensive use of video conferencing, video business platforms, both to conduct virtual hearings and at the same time to work properly, remotely with the people, was another feature of those times, as well as the issuance of regulations and protocols in order to know how to use safely the IT platforms and at the same time to develop virtual hearings respecting the constitutional guarantees. On the other hand, as for this to happen, the use of some resources that were of us, of our own property, was something very common those days. We got used to develop short videos, and when I'm talking about short videos, I'm talking about 30 seconds videos to show how things should be done, as well as providing or sharing with, for instance, WhatsApp, Telegram, and other applications for communications, instantaneous communications, management systems screenshots, as well as techniques to conduct effectively virtual meetings in order to make the work productively. Checklists to execute working processes, preserve documents, and the like were some of the achievements of those times that came and still are fortunately being developed. As for the IT-based new paths, benefits, challenges, and opportunities, I'm going to briefly show some of them, making some comments. You can read the other parts, but for me, the essential part relates to the importance of ICT, information communication technologies, in everyday lives in terms of their benefits. It's a tool. It's not good or bad in itself. It evolves as we speak. Enough is not enough, like they say. We can create cooperatively. I'm a member of different international organizations, and thanks to this, I'm able to be in contact with different cultures in real time and to create knowledge and to learn from different experiences thanks to technology. And all in all, the damages that can derive from that relate to the invasion of privacy or the organized crime that can develop virtual kidnappings or try to get our data in order to invade our privacy or our banking accounts. So these are some of the problems that we have to face when we use technology so intensively, as we had to do during the pandemic. As for the benefits of these resources, we can raise the quality of the teaching and learning processes, facilitating and improving the access to contents and to communications. It's also possible to do real-time performance analysis and feedback, and of course, each cost-effective because it's cheaper in comparison. Let's think about how much would it entail to be all together in a certain place if we are to develop an international training course. On the other hand, they also facilitate provision of materials online, the renewals of the contents, and the collaborative exchanges, for instance, using discussion forums. Same way, the renewal of the trainer's role, who is much more than just a person who is transmitting knowledge, a person who is facilitating the building, the construction of knowledge cooperatively. And the use of virtual reality simulations and AI-powered case analysis as another tools that are much more common as we speak. The use of data and predictive analytics is another acquisition of these times, thanks to artificial intelligence and the big data and machine learning, in order to classify and have the information about the legal decisions, the jurisprudence, which facilitates the way in which the people who work in the courts, like the judge and the staffers, or the lawyers themselves, can learn about which is the probable outcome of a certain decision coming from a certain court before which they are litigating. This way they can save time and devote their energy for what is really worthwhile. Also, there are some challenges if we talk about technology. Culture is the main challenge because we have a culture of artisanal and often obsolete working methods in many judiciaries, particularly in developing countries, with a lack of training for incoming staffers, like it was my own experience when many years ago I worked in the judiciary. Same way that trial and error learning is so common as a feature of this kind of learning. Also, a traditionally theoretical judicial education to abstract with passive transmission of legal concepts, and the same way the resistance to change, the cultural resistance to change, because we're used to do things in a certain manner and we don't want to change that because we feel comfortable with that. It's our comfort zone. There are some technology barriers. We think about developing countries in which it's very difficult to access to electricity, so that means that we cannot think about technology in those cases, and justice has to be delivered no matter how. And the same way, the invasion with data privacy and security concerns that are so common. That picture that you can see is quite common to illustrate about what happened in good part of developing countries if you think about the lives, the rights and the expectations of the people whose lives are comprised into those files at the same time that the monitor is so little in comparison. So technology is not enough in order to surmount that. A cultural change is really necessary, and an investment, of course, too. But there are, and this is a good part, opportunities. Because the cultural change is underway, the case management training has been increasing dramatically this year. A good part of my 336 courses along this more than over 26 years of experience devoted to that. The constant expansion of ICT accessibility through disruptive technology devices like the smartphones, the tablets and the personal computers, and the networking development. There we have a very important opportunity. Technology can unite us, and international cooperation agencies are eager to help people to build them capacities, build local capacities as a way to, respecting their own cultures, do something useful for themselves and coexistence. As for the developments and outcomes, I'm going to show some features regarding the e-learning, some techniques that are useful, but also putting the accent on some advantages of them in front of other ones. Considering that e-learning platforms represent interaction for pedagogical processes, it's easier through them to access to educational materials, to have more interactions, and the relationships of trainee with each other and trainers are enriched thanks to that, if you don't do that just in real time. The evaluation processes are facilitated the same way, as well as the administrative procedures, for instance, to register or to pay to take a certain course. And now some features related to these modalities. One being the synchronous modalities, which are the easier ones, the ones that we are most used to, using smartphones, chat, video conferences, or virtual classrooms. We can connect with each other, but even when we can do that, and it's good to have the professor, the trainer there, and you can learn from him or her because of the reply that he's going to provide, or the material that he or she is going to provide. It's very difficult to be at the same time, all of us connected, particularly if we come from different cultures, because we are working at the time at a certain class. So this is not going to happen, and this restriction is something that we have to face seriously if we are to develop education or distance education successfully. That's why I strongly believe, much more than in the former, about asynchronous modalities, setting discussion forums to identify a certain topic and request opinions of the people during, let's say, a week, during which each one of you can make a comment, can record a comment, and another person can do the same and issue an opinion or say something about what you've said before. That way you can have accessible comments, summarizes that can be done thanks to this, and you can perform task assignments much more efficiently. You have greater possibilities to communicate because, let's say, if you have a 6 weeks course, it's easier to do that than just doing this in one day. But at the same time, there are some current issues that I want to stress. Being one of them, the abuse of hard forms of evaluation. We cannot think that simply multiple choice is something useful or efficient in order to perform properly. Our lives do not relate to matters of black and white. There are many shades of gray that we need to consider, considering the reality of the judiciary. There are training of trainers developments that are really something very important. We don't have enough number of trainers in any country all over the world, so training other people who will be in a position to train other people will snowball the effects or the impact of this judicial training, as well as the use of the disruptive technologies that I mentioned before and the uploading of the materials. Lastly, and for the perspectives, I want to stress something related again to the pandemic. It was a well-used opportunity in order to boost judicial modernization and the use of technology, particularly to judicial training destination. Also, because of the increasing of the awareness about the ICTs as tools to do something better and not just the same thing more quickly. But, however, deeper changes are required in this regard, thanks to planning and, of course, developing in the short, middle, and long term. This, and all of this, I must say, towards a higher and more accessible justice with a better quality and efficiency, more expedite and less expensive. In other words, to fulfill our core mission that, to me, relates to contribute to social peace. And in that picture that you can see there, that boy is holding a sign with the word paz, which in Spanish means peace, with a pigeon. That by itself is a symbol of what we must do, to devote our lives to contribute to a better social peace and at the same time to be better persons and a better society. Thank you all very much.